Hello users, and welcome to the very first run of the Cyber Monday Extravaganza, number 3. And so basically, if you haven't seen a video that I uploaded that kind of gives you the gist of this, I will re-explain. 30 minutes-ish, you know, it's going to be similar to how the rock block was formatted, and 30-ish minutes per video. And these are going to be, I'm going to do these in one segment, of course, but I'm going to upload them in chunks because that's just how it goes. And I'm going to be playing some classic games from the archives in celebration of Cyber Monday, because that's kind of my self-identified holiday meme. And so we're going to start off with Rayman, the original Rayman for the Sony PlayStation. And coming up next will be a different game that I will probably, if I remember, announce in the very ending. But either way, so this is going to be estimated to be 2 hours. It could be 5 parts. Maybe, if I'm really bad, which I might be. This is, you know, no practice, single segment. But if all things go well, this should be 4 parts. So, but, you know, who knows? Yeah, so Rayman is, I think my first run of this game was in 2013. It was like 10 hours. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I didn't finish because I stayed up all night, and my mom woke up and got mad at me for staying up all night, so I had to stop the run because I kept dying on the final level. So I didn't actually technically complete the first run, but I pretended that I finished it because no one was watching at that point, so I kind of just pretended that that was my first run. But that's not important right now. Hopefully no one gets mad at me for staying up all night. It's currently 4 a.m. So hopefully no one gets mad at me. But I'm going to turn the music all the way up, of course. And I swap the fist and action buttons, of course. So let's get this started. I first played this game when I was really young. This would probably be, maybe it's like one of my first games ever. It really... I've maybe first 10 video games I ever have actual memories of, and for that reason I have a really hard-coded nostalgia for this game. But I'd never obviously beaten this game when I was a kid. This game was far too difficult to beat as a kid, and one of the main reasons is because you need to 100% it in order to complete it. In order to unlock the last level, you need to get every cage in every level, and that's essentially 100%. It lists it as 100% on the menu when you load save files and so forth. But yeah, so I never really did that until... if I remember correctly, I think I played this game during lunch period in middle school on my PSP, and that's when I actually first completed the game. I'm gonna drink some water. But yeah, this game is very near and dear to my heart. If I were to craft a top 10 games of all time, I feel like Rayman would be on it. Yeah! You know, I don't know if it's going to be in the top 5, but I would say top 10. I mean, certainly. This game really is just something else. So one little tidbit is when you jump and you punch, your punch actually has, I think it's double the amount of actual power. So for example, I can kill those guys in one hit with a jump punch, but if it's not a jump punch, it takes like maybe 2 or 3 hits. One of the things about this game that I find that is truly remarkable is the soundtrack is incredible. Really, like... One thing to note is that this game was a launch title for the PlayStation, and 2D games weren't super popular on the PlayStation, because Sony America especially were like, we don't really want that many 2D games. But this game, really, the thing I think about the most that probably is the most impressive I mean, the graphics are incredible, but the music is... The thing about this game is there's so many different levels and environments, and the music is perfectly kind of crafted to suit the kind of atmosphere that you're playing in. And it really is just... Especially... Sorry, I got something in my throat, I think. Especially during, I think, my favorite songs are in the blue mountain areas. Really good stuff. And then especially in Picture City. In Picture City, you got like the music and it has like eraser noises and like pencil noises, and like it's a like a level kind of based around like art and like, you know, like pencils, pens, paintbrushes, and like the music has like that in the music. You know, it's a very visceral experience, and you know, I can't praise this game enough. Well, I probably can. So I'm gonna tone it back a little bit and talk about this boss fight. This is the first mosquito boss. This is kind of like a slow ease in to how bosses work, and it's got maybe one of the best video game moments of all time, which you'll see in just a second here. Also, I just want to say this is not my cup. I fucking... this game, one of the things about this game that I find incredible is how happy it is. You know, even though the mosquito looks pretty mad right there, but that's not important right now. This game is just, it really just lifts your spirits like nothing else. Like, when I first played this game, especially when I was young, and then in every subsequent playthrough, because every time I played this game, I'd at least beat the second level. So it's just, I don't know, the idea of you beating the boss and then them becoming your friend is just, I love new friends. I wish every game were like that. You just beat the bad guy and then they're like, okay, it's alright, I can't win, let's just be buddies. Right here, I kind of want to try to play this auto-scroller in a way that like kind of speeds up and slows down when I want to, essentially, but like the way I kind of move back left and right. Also, if I let go of the fist here, this happens, but you can hold the fist the whole time and then not have this part of the music play and then that animation start. You gain the speed the entire time, so it's not slower, but I like to kind of throw the fist halfway through and kind of explain it. That's kind of my thing. Yeah, this is the fairy. I believe her name is like Batilla, something like that. She gets captured later, which is a little sad. One thing about this game that I always found really interesting is that basically this game has like kind of fundamental like game mechanics, like running, crouching, well, not crouching actually, but like most things actually you have to unlock. You don't even start with the punch. You have to unlock the punch. That was the first thing I unlocked. And then you unlock the ability to hang. You unlock the ability to use your helicopter hair, which is really fun. Also, I love Tar Rayzan. Really fucking funny. You unlock the ability to run, and you unlock the ability to grab hoops. If you saw some of those earlier, you'll see some of them later as well. And I just like... it's really an interesting game mechanic where it's not like Spyro, where like, I mean, it's kind of like Spyro, but it's not like Spyro in the sense of like the abilities are kind of extra. Like, for example, you have to unlock punching, which is like a fundamental kind of ability. You have to unlock the ability to hang on a ledge, you know what I mean? I just find that interesting. Another thing I want to say is that Rayman 1 has lots of like, it's got like a lot of ports, and it's on a lot of different kind of consoles. And for example, there's a Game Boy Color version of this game, which I did play as a kid, and it's nothing similar. Well, it's similar in the sense it's a 2D and it stars Rayman, but it's very different. And the reason is because, you know, it's Game Boy Color, they couldn't have all these awesome graphics and stuff. I just got that for the health. So the levels are also completely different. I've never actually played through the entirety of Rayman 1. And there's also a Rayman 2 on Game Boy Color, which is basically like Rayman 1 on Game Boy Color, but 2. And then the actual Rayman 2 is a 3D game. So that's some other fun stuff. There's a PC port. There's actually multiple PC ports of Rayman 1, and some of them have extra levels and content, and one of them I think has a level editor. Also, I fucked that up really bad. Jesus Christ. I'm really fucking around here. Okay, let's try that again. Oh. Why? Why? I don't know why. This will end up being a 5-parter, I'm sure. Maybe a 6-parter. This is embarrassing. Oh, it's happening again. Okay. Okay, we're good, we're good. You gotta do this for a secret. And like I said, you need to get every single cage. So I haven't played this game in a few months. I hope I remember all the locations. If I don't, then things are gonna get interesting. So, I'm hoping for the best. And one thing I will say is that this is going to be unedited. I'm not going to cut parts out for the Patreon exclusivity as much as I'd like to. This is going to be raw, unedited gameplay, so... Well, except for the fact that, you know, it's going to be multiple parts. But, I mean, I guess it's technically not an edit, it's more so of a segment. But either way... Another thing is my finger is kind of hurt. I mentioned this in the last few videos. And this is a controller game, so it's not really that big of a deal. It's my middle finger here. That one. It kind of hurts to bend it, but it, you know, it just kind of rests behind the controller, so I don't really need to worry about it, but just giving y'all the down low in case you don't know. And of course, I missed the cycle, because why not? Okay. Alright, so that's this level completed. If you jump on these vines, it kind of pulls you toward it. So if you just jump at the vine and mash X, you kind of scroll the screen a little faster. So it's a little hot tidbit. And yeah, so if you do this little, you know, strategy, you just kind of go on top of the whole level and skip the bottom part. Really fun. One thing I do like about this level is that, or this game, is that the levels are super dynamic and open. Even though they're side scrollers, especially when you have like the unlockable parts, or not the parts, but like abilities. Like you have to revisit a bunch of these levels. Like this level I have to revisit. So like the routing in this game actually is super interesting. This is one of the most interesting games I think I've ever played. Really, it's just, I don't know, there's so much kind of content and freedom in this game, and you know, and as a freedom lover, you know, like I just love this shit. Also, I love how you can punch the fish in their teeth. The art in this game, the graphics and the art, especially for a launch title. Like compare this game to like, you know, a Super Nintendo or like a Sega Genesis game. You know, like this game was a launch title for PlayStation. So you have to understand like how much of an upgrade it is graphically. There was actually a Super Nintendo version of this game that was being developed, but it just got delayed so much, and then they decided to remake it entirely from the ground up, essentially, for the PlayStation. Which, in my opinion, probably for the best. Oh, Jesus. Okay. These guys will move slightly slower than you, so it's like super obnoxious to kind of like outrun them. And then you have this thing, which only appears once ever, I think, and that's its only appearance. A little bizarre if you ask me, but hey, what are you gonna do? Oh, fuck. If you play that right, you can land in between there and hit the exit sign, but oops. One of the fun things about this game is that the soundtrack, for, you know, again, like I said, it's really good. But because this was a game made on PlayStation, you can actually put the disc into a CD player and listen to the soundtrack. And some of the tracks on there are kind of slightly different versions. For example, the yeah, whenever you complete a level, the one on disc is actually different than the one that plays in game. So a little fun fact there. I used to put this game into my CD player and listen to the soundtrack on my way to school sometimes. When I was in elementary. Before I discovered real music. You have these thingies here. I don't really know what they are, but they do exist. So I could go up there and get the checkpoint, which is, you know, you have to take the picture. That's getting a checkpoint. But I have faith in my abilities in order to successfully succeed. Not to be confused with successfully secede, which the South did not do in the 1800s. But successfully succeed, which requires not dying. Even though I suck, I don't think I suck that much. Have I died yet? I don't think so. Throughout the game, as long as you don't die, there's upgrades you can get to the fist. As you can see, mine's gold and shiny. You get the shiny fist, which basically makes it faster, and the gold fist, which makes it stronger. And then you can, I think, get the shiny one like multiple times to make it faster and faster, I'm pretty sure. But then when you die, they degrade. And so when you die once, you lose the gold, and then you'll keep the special, I think. But then if you die twice, you lose everything. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. In fact, I might be wrong. In fact, I think I'm wrong. You gotta be careful there. If you walk too fast, you'll actually not scroll the screen enough. This game has a lot of auto-scrollers, but I don't think that I think most of them are actually pretty fun. I can't say that any of them are super annoying. But yeah, this game is not super speedrun friendly, but it has so much of its own, like, kind of charm and value to it that even if you're doing a speedrun, you know, you don't really feel like you're bogged down. At least I don't. Like, you get the run ability halfway through the game, but it doesn't feel like, you know, the game doesn't feel empty before then. You know what I mean? Like, the run ability just kind of, it makes the next, you know, bunch of levels easier, but, you know, it makes them required, and it's just kind of part of the level design, rather than, like, something that feels like it should be there the whole game. And that's what I really like about this game. The pacing is just really well done. Good stuff, good stuff. Also 69 tings. Alright, so here's the real bad guy mosquito, who is not our friend. Bad mosquito! I wish our new friend would help throughout this fight, if that were to make one constructive critique of this game. I wish the pink mosquito came back. There you go. When this guy zooms at the bottom of the screen, you can just shoot the fist and you'll get the hit. If they start zooming, like, kind of not at the midway, but, you know, upper a little bit, you have to jump a little bit and then shoot your fist and you'll be able to get the hit. But either way, every time that happens, you should be able to get the hit. Get the hit. If I could speak clearly, which obviously I cannot. Yay, Rayman! Oh. So the health bar is at the bottom left. I like how you can see the little pellets go through to the left of the little kind of profile picture, if you want to call it that. But no, there's only 2 health left. There's not 3, or there's not 4 or 5 that were hidden behind that. It's just kind of like a graphical thing. Does look kind of cool. The boss fights in this game generally, I think, are really well made. They're less like they're less like regular boss fights in games where it's like, you know, you fight the boss. It's more of like kind of an endurance round. You know, like the bosses are kind of scripted. And if you miss a hit, then, you know, you just have to do an extra round. You know what I mean? It's less of like a boss battle and more so of like a scripted event. And that's another thing that I find pretty fun in this game. One thing I will say is I'll be skipping one of the bosses, and there's a little trick for the speedrun where you can actually do Mr. Sax's hullabaloo without fighting the boss and still getting all the cages. So that's a little fun fact. I'll explain more of that when I get there, though. Yeah! There we go. Alright, so now we're going to go to Bongo Hills, which is the first level of Band Land, which was the furthest I ever got when I was young, because these levels, this is where it gets hard, let me tell you. And not like in the good dick way, but like in the very bad dick way. Yeah, I forget how this works. Right, okay, I just remembered. I'm gonna use the fist. So I'm gonna get around here to the top of that little slope, and then shoot myself down with the fist. Jump up there, go up there, that hits the script. Instead of, you can go around multiple times, but if you do that, then you get that right there. Also, I don't want to go that way, I want to go this way. Like I said, it's been a few months. This is going to be not that good. Go down here, that's slightly faster. Go over here, whee! I love those like eyeballs that kind of attach themselves to things and just shoot lightning at you. I like how they look angry, but like jolly at the same time, because it's Rayman. One thing about this game that's really beautiful are the backgrounds and how there's like different layers of scrolling. Just pay attention to the backgrounds here. Keep in mind, this game was made in 1996, or at least it was released in 1996. Like, it really is just incredible. Just gonna grab the tings for the life up. This part can be a little annoying. There is a trick here, but you know, it's been so long, I'm not gonna bother trying to do the trick. I would like to, but I'm not. Sorry. Oh. I guess I'm just gonna die. That's probably not what I should have done. Good thing I got those tings. Got a free life. Yeah, okay, so I keep the special, but I lose the gold. That's how that works. But yeah, so Bongo Hills, each level has a variable amount of screens, like, yeah, signs. This one has got maybe, I think, one of the longest amount of screens in any level, and it's a really tough level. You can do it in one cycle, meaning you don't need to come back with other upgrades, which is good, because then, like, if you, like, once you hit the second screen of a level, you can't return to the hub world, like the map. You have to complete the level in order to get out. Otherwise, you have to, like, you know, restart the game, essentially, or, like, reload. So, a lot of the levels are based around you want to try to get all the cages on one cycle, one visit. You don't want to revisit levels. Some levels you do revisit, but then also, like, you can get all the cages on the first screen, and then you can, like, evacuate the level and not have to, like, redo the whole thing. So, Bongo Hills, I could do a revisit with run and everything and just try to sweep by, but there is a trick that made it so that you can do this level in one cycle, which is, it is beneficial, though it is kind of hard, and that trick's coming up in a little bit here. Yeah! There's another trick on this level that I'm gonna try, I think, but I'm probably gonna fail. But we'll see. It's on this screen. It is a zip, where basically you get stuck in the wall, and then the game tries to spit you out. But it's really cool when it works, but I don't know if I can get it to work. I decided to check. Oh wait, no, I want a checkpoint there. So I want to go down here. I forgot about that. I forgot, like, about a vital thing. I was just checkpointing there because I'm bad, but now I'm supposed to. I get that cage, and then I drop down in here and kill myself, because that's faster to checkpoint and then respawn up here than to manually reclimb all the way up there. So I'm going to try to do this zip, but again, I haven't really done it in a long time. So you want to get against this wall. Yeah. You want to get against that wall and then kind of like hop in there as the rocket thing is going into the ceiling, and then it pushes you like a pixel up into the wall, and then you zip. I'm gonna give this a few goes. Sad? I do want to do it because it is cool looking, and I'm not really concerned about the time, so I will give this a few goes before I get upset and just like go on without it. But I would like to show it off. There is a kind of a specific setup to it, but it's been so long and I don't remember the setup at all, so oops, what are you gonna do? I do remember that you have to jump, and you have to jump left, but you have to like kind of land in a specific fashion for it to actually work. Darn. I'll give this like maybe 5 more goes before I just give up and tell you to go look up a YouTube video of it. That's not mine because I can't do it apparently. Instead of like knocking me back to the ground there, it's supposed to knock me up. But it's not. This is the embarrassing part of the video. I can just scroll ahead until I get it. Let's click like whatever hotkey on your keypad, the 5-second scroll up. How is that not it? Come on. Maybe I'm not supposed to hold left. Maybe I'm just supposed to jump. Let's try that. Oh. Jesus, now I can't even get to the location where the zip is. I'm just losing all of I mean, I was gonna say losing all my skill, but I don't think I had it to begin with. I don't think that's how that works. Yeah, I just don't remember. I'm pretty sure you do kind of need a specific way to do this. Otherwise, it's just, you're not gonna get it to work. I don't know. I'll give this 2 more goes, and then I'll just say fuck me, and then not do it. Fuck me. I'm not doing it. Just look up a YouTube video. Maybe next time. I don't know what exactly it is. I'm gonna try one more time. Fuck you in the fucking... Okay. To prevent myself from getting upset, I'm just no more. Alright. So if you do it successfully, it kind of just, not necessarily teleports, but makes you go really fast all the way up the wall. And you skip this entire section. You come out right at the top of this drum. Right next to the exclamation point sign. However, as obviously, I'm terrible, so it's not going to happen. And I mentioned before that there's kind of a tough trick, and that trick is about to happen right on this screen. And it's going to involve this loop, or this alum. I think they're called lums. And, let's see if I get it. Basically, if you hold up while you're on these, you can like kind of store like speed in a kind of a specific way. I don't know exactly how it works. And you have to kind of, like, normally you're supposed to run. You're supposed to revisit this level and run to gain the speed. But you can kind of hold the up button and gain the speed. And if you jump off at the very specific frame, you gain enough speed to be able to actually get through there and get over. But it is very, very peculiar. Okay, that was like, what, 3rd, 4th try? A lot better than I was expecting. And if I remember... Did I pass it? No. No. No? There's another cage coming up. I just don't quite remember where. And I want to make sure I don't miss them, because... Oh, wait, no, I've got a whole nother... Okay, never mind. Bongo Hills has a whole nother screen that I'm forgetting of. Okay, we're good, we're good. Well... I'm not good. Maybe you're good. It's possible, but I'm not good. I'm bad?
Yeah!
Also, I'm going to cut the video after this level is over and before the next level begins, so keep that in mind. If you actually jump on that and immediately jump off, you gain like just a little bit of height, enough to be able to actually jump over there. Normally you're supposed to kind of do like this roundabout way to get through here, but you don't have to do that if you're good. Then right here, if I hold left and then mash the jump button, I can get through that. And again, I'm supposed to do a roundabout way to get through that, but if you're good, you don't need to. And that is a trick I do remember. And then you have to kill yourself. Well, you don't have to, but it's quicker, because then you just go back here, and this is the goal. So, I mean, you could theoretically waste 30 or 40 seconds following the slow auto-scrolling cloud to get back here and keep, like, your little health pellets, but that's kind of silly. That's one thing I do love about the speedrun for this game, is that it has a lot of intentional deaths, and I just find that really cool. I find any sort of intentional deaths in a speedrun to be interesting routing mechanics, but this game uses a fuckload of them, and I just find that to be really interesting. More than most games that I've done speedruns of. And because of that, I get to mask my unintentional deaths as intentional deaths to limit myself from being embarrassed. I love limiting my embarrassment. I'm going to jump over there and get the last cage. Whoops, just kidding. If I go slightly more to the left, I'll spawn a bunch of shit that I don't want to spawn. So I try to get that from as much of a distance as I can. And then this cloud will spawn, and I'll go back up and finish the screen. And if I remember correctly, there's one more screen in Bongo Hills. Yeah! Yes. Alright, this is the last screen. If I get hit by that guy, I can just walk through him. And I'm not supposed to get hit by that lightning, but I'm kind of stupid, so that happens, you know? It's just a thing. If I'm fast enough, I can grab that cycle. I've got 1 health, so I'm going to grab that for insurance. Alright, so coming up next is going to be more Bandland. So hopefully you tune in tomorrow for the episodic installment of the Cyber Monday Extravaganza, the 3rd. And this is probably going to be going on all month. So just, you know, a word to the wise, and I'll see you tomorrow.